Welcome back. All Sports West New York with Steve Manson, the hockey man. And Steve, going back to Mike Babcock, there were, I guess, some video over the weekend of him with Terry Pegula. So they did meet. But we're still, to continue the conversation, the Pegulas are very strong owners. Okay,
Yes,
they've established that. Pat LaFontaine found that out. If Mike Babcock wants to pick a situation where he's going to have more say than he has even in Detroit, is this the right organization for him to come to?
Well, that's a question he obviously he's going to have to answer. I mean, if you look at Toronto, you've got a board of directors that run the team up there, and they've had nothing but problems with that for years. And the facilities in Buffalo are really second to none, between the arena and, of course, the new Harbor Center. And that's got to be very attractive. And if with Pegula giving him a tour around town, obviously he probably showed him the facilities. In Toronto, they've got the MasterCard Center, which is a great facility, but it's, you know, it's out in the suburbs. It's a great place. I've been there many times. The Hockey Hall of Fame stores all their extra stuff out there. It's just a great place to go. But again, the Toronto situation just is bad. I'm just going to be
well, but there could be a lot of other teams that are interested too, as you said in the last segment.
Philadelphia, but Philadelphia has, you know, for lack of a better term, a meddling upper management. I mean, how many coaches and general managers? Well, maybe not as many general managers, but how many people have they blown through down there? And the Islanders situation, they're moving again. The Islanders still have a coach, even though there's rumors that they are interested in Mike. They're moving into a brand new building next year, and you know, they compete with the Rangers down there. And I just think Buffalo's got so many good young players, either here or coming. And it just seems like this could be a place where he could really build something. I know he'd like to go into a situation like Scotty Bowman used to do, into a situation where a team's pretty much ready to challenge, but that may not happen.
Speaking of young players, Jack Eichel has matured almost overnight at the World Tournament, and he's getting accolades from players on the opposition, players on his team. For an 18-year-old, he's really impressed. Boy,
I tell you, you just hit it right on the nail. He's 18 years old. He's playing with men over there. You know, a lot of the veteran players are still in the playoffs, but there's a lot of good hockey players over there, and Eichel certainly is not out of place at all. And to say that he's matured, he was the best college hockey player in the States this year, and he's only a freshman.
Right.
You know, his talent level, I think, has just got a tremendous upscale, and I'm really excited to watch him when he comes here to Buffalo.
What about Sam Reinhart? He came up for a cup of coffee with the Amerks at the end. How do you think he's progressed?
I think people are totally overlooking exactly what Sam Reinhart is going to bring. After he was sent back to the Western League, he just set that league right on fire. In fact, the first week he was back there, he was Player of the Week. He was back there for just 2 weeks, and they named him to the Western Hockey League All-Star team. He was back there for like 2-3 weeks before he was named to the World Junior team for Canada. Played very well in the World Junior, had a great season up there, and I think Sam Reinhart's going to come into camp next year and really surprise a lot of people. He just wasn't ready this year. And again, they're only 18 years old. I mean, people always say, well, Gilbert Perreault came in. Well, Gilbert Perreault came in as a 20-year-old. Back then, the draft was at the age of 20. Now it's at the age of 18. And they've got to give these players you know, a little bit of a chance. And I keep hearing, well, Reinhart will end up in Rochester. No, he won't. He's still too young to go to Rochester. If the Sabres don't keep him, they have to send him back to junior. Well, he's done everything he could do in junior, so he'll be with the Sabres next year.
Anybody else on their prospect list that you think could contribute as soon as next year?
Well, they've got to find a goaltender. They've got a number of goaltenders down in Rochester, and I don't think any of them really are what they're, you know. Andrei Makarov, probably the goaltender, you know, may have a shot, but I think the Sabres will go out and find a goaltender this summer. Mark Pysyk should have been here this year. As long as his health problems are cured, and it seems like they are, he'll definitely be on the blue line next year. He'll be a big-time contributor.
Saw a report over the weekend. Enroth said he'd like to come back. He wouldn't rule out coming back to Buffalo being a goaltender. You think Tim Murray would want him back in goal?
They got to get somebody. I'm sure they're going to go into the free agency and possibly trades or whatever, and start looking at who's available and you know who might want to move. I mean, hey, you look at Cam Talbot down there, and the Rangers was outstanding. But will the Rangers move him? I mean, they've got Lundqvist to play most of the time. Will they move him? They're going to want a pretty good talent, a high draft choice or a top prospect for him, even if they're willing to trade him. There's a couple other guys out there I think on the free agent market. But again, you got to wait till July 1st and see who's exactly out there.
Okay, before we wrap up, the Western New York Hockey Publication is coming out a little later. It's going to be out the very end of the month.
Right.
It's going to be kind of a combine issue.
Well, funny you should say that, because that's what we're featuring on. The NHL Combine's coming to Buffalo, you know, the second week of June, or first, 6th, I think it is. I'm not exactly positive. I think it's the 6th. And the whole hockey world is coming. There's going to be hundreds, I mean hundreds of hockey people, scouts and appraisers and general managers and coaches, and the whole National Hockey League world will be.
You're going to have an article about that in the next issue.
Oh, absolutely.
Who's writing that article?
At the moment, I am.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We may change that. Who knows?
Okay. So, but this is not something that the fans can come out and watch.
Unfortunately, it's going to be here for at least 2 years, and I know the Sabres are looking at the possibility of doing some sort of fan things in the second year, but they weren't prepared. Unless something's changed, and you know, between now and June 6th, a lot of things could change. But right now, it doesn't really look like it's going to be open to the
Steve,
public.
thanks for being on the show. Look forward to seeing the next issue, and we'll have you on in June.
Okay.
Steve Manson, the Hockey Man. We'll be back to wrap up All Sports West New York right after this.